goody, y'all. It's goody, y'all. Thank you for joining me for another installment of Gabbing with Goody Gabor. Let's get into it. And we are back with season 10, episode 14 of Basketball Wives. Now, initially when I started watching this, because I forgot about last season, I thought it was going to be season 11. So there were a few things that kind of threw me off. As an example, we open with Brooke, who is in the church, distraught, because she has discovered that her husband was being unfaithful. What threw me off was, as we know, unfortunately, she lost her child. I think last year, she lost her child, a daughter. And in my head, I was like, well, wait a minute. She's in the church about her man cheating when she's lost her child. Because when there's loss, on that scale, really a man and his cheating are not the biggest things you focus on. But I was wrong. I'm going to redirect that. We open with Brooke. She's up in the church. She's crying. She's praying. She's doing exactly what she needs to do, because when things are awry in your life, you need to seek first the kingdom of God, whoever God is to you. So what I like about this scene is she is confused. She did take it to the altar, which I believe in. I always believe in taking things to the altar. And her spiritual advisor, not sure if this is her pastor or not, let her know that it was not necessary for her to know all of the answers in the right now. She doesn't need to have the answers right now. All she needs is to understand that she's at a standstill and she needs to be still and let God. So that's how we open. In our next scene, we see that Jen is still with Jelani. They've been together for about 2 months, and they look really cute together. They're talking. They show us in a past clip that he had the discussion with her, so now they are exclusively dating. And in this scene, he lets us know that he wants her to meet his mom, which I think is really cute. Jen is considering or thinking about getting married to Jelani. She mentions that she's had a bad track record with men, and honestly, everything we've seen has been bad, and she's ready for something new, something different, and she thinks that Jelani might be that solid, stable guy. I like this for her. Now we go to Jackie Cristie's home, where she is hosting Malaysia. It's good to see them together. Malaysia jokingly says, where's Doug? Is he out with his team? Call him on FaceTime so that, I could do some shopping. They do the call on FaceTime. It results in nothing. However, Malaysia lets us know that she's taking her ex-husband Gennaro to court for, just to get the child support situation back on point. And she also says that he sent a cease and desist. And she's wondering how he would know to even do that, because he shouldn't even know that she was talking about him since the episodes didn't air. She thinks one of the girls did it, specifically Brandy. We'll get to that. Jackie wants her to integrate with the women again. It hasn't gone well. As you know, British and Malaysia had a thing, which was weird, but whatever. Malaysia says she'll try because she's not opposed to it. And we leave them right there. The girls get together. That would be Brooke, British, and Brandy, 3 Bs. And they are consoling Brooke, and getting the story on what happened between her and her husband. Apparently, she had felt distance between her and her husband. Brooke, waited till he went to sleep. He left his phone open. She took a look at the phone. She found out that he was indeed cheating. And she responded to that by, leaving, going home. And essentially, as she's telling British and Brandy, getting ready to have a divorce. I think she might be speeding towards the divorce end, although I do understand her. She's like, her children are grown. When your children are grown, you don't really have time for a whole bunch of foolishness. Her children are grown. She's not ugly, and she doesn't trust him. Brandy, who, as you know, was cheated on a lot by her husband, doesn't think that British should be getting a divorce. And British, who I'm sure has also dealt with infidelity, is like, are you sure? They're trying to convince her that maybe she should take a beat before deciding to get a divorce. I sort of agree, but not for the same reasons. Brandy and British think just it's a matter of fact kind of thing and comes with the territory. I think Brooke should figure out what she really wants to do and not be reactionary. In any event, she, I think, is doing the right things. She left him where he was. She took space so that he couldn't gaslight her into forgiving him prematurely. I think that's good for her. We get to see Duffy and British having an exchange while Duffy is in the studio. As things are going with Duffy, she doesn't want to travel on the road anymore, so she let go of the French Montana gig. And she's working on her album, staying home, and doing local gigs, which helps her in her relationship with her fiancé Iman, and helps her be closer to home with her son and her daughter. While talking to British, they discuss, she checks in on Brooke, like, how was Brooke? British lets her know Brooke looks good, but is still in emotional turmoil. Duffy's like, we should have an event for her. And British is like, who are we inviting? Because she still has a thing with Malaysia. From my perspective, British has no real legs to stand on to be upset with Malaysia. She does not know her. They do not have beef. I think it is weird for her to take this stance like Malaysia has done something to her. And I think it's just her being a follower. Jennifer don't mess with her. Brandy don't mess with her. So I'm not messing with her. The thing is, Brandy and Jennifer have reason to have issue with Malaysia because they actually know her. British is giving weird vibes. What we also know about British is that she's still going through it with her federal charges. She's been indicted. She could do years. She's not wearing an ankle bracelet. That's something that's concerning. So I think she needs to focus on herself and her business instead of Malaysia. But sometimes when you're miserable, you want company. So I see what you're doing there, British. So now Jelani and Jen are going so that she can meet his parents. Cute looking couple. And basically his dad gets right to it. What are your intentions with my son? His mother gets right to it. Are y'all talking about grandchildren? It's been a discussion, but I believe Jen to be about 46 years old. So, actually 47. Not quite sure how realistic that is. But if they like it, I love it. If they can make it happen, cool. Jen did mention that it should have been the other way around with her dad grilling him. But, that was not something that could happen. Again, really cute for Jen. We get to the night where the women are gathering to support Brooke and kind of get her the back in the game party. She's single again. It doesn't have to be miserable. They all gather together. This includes Malaysia, who is really on the outskirts for the most part. Jackie goes into Jackie mode. She wants Malaysia and Jen to sit next to each other or near each other. They're both like, nah, we good. We good. In this instance, Jackie's like, all right, she falls back. When Brooke arrives, they all, they get together, they're talking. She looks really good. She feels good as well. They get to talking. Brandy is giving her like the advice of you're not sure if you want to leave. And Malaysia looks over and says, take a moment for yourself. I think you should take a moment for yourself. Brandy with herself being shady towards Malaysia is like, Malaysia, did you take a moment for yourself? And Malaysia is like, yes, I actually took a year. I wouldn't have left him for cheating. I had to leave because we never found our way back to ourselves. Overall, it feels like really solid advice that Malaysia is sharing. It still feels like Brandy wants everyone to accept what she's accepted from her husband, who was all around and around and around with a sexual addiction. But whatever. the ladies speak. They break off, they talk. British lets us know she's going to be lesbian coming up soon with a whole girlfriend, maybe. Who knows? Who cares? Duffy's trying to play matchmaker for Malaysia. Jackie convinces Brandy to go over and talk to Malaysia and Duffy. They get into a discussion. Duffy excuses herself, which gives Malaysia the opportunity to ask Brandy what she's wanted to ask Brandy for a few weeks now. Basically, did you tell Gennaro anything about the fact that I was taking him to court for child support? Brandy, she doesn't initially say no. She has a look on her face. If you ask me. Also, if you ask me, I don't think she told him, which she said she didn't. But what she actually said was, I don't speak to him personally. That does not mean that her husband doesn't speak to him. I believe that Brandy was talking to her husband, and her husband relayed the information to Gennaro. In any event, they move on. Malaysia's like, I didn't think you did, but you're the only one who knows him. In her confessional, Brandy's like, girl, I don't even want to talk to you. Why would I be talking to him? I already told you how I think it went down. In any event, we move on. Afterwards, the next day, Brooke is chilling. She had a good time the night before, and her husband gives her a call. And the way this man calls her, you would think that his mistake was that he gave her a Pepsi instead of a Coke. He was very nonchalant. Hey, baby, how you doing? You get the flowers I sent you? Fam, you cheated on me, and I found out. What I like about what Brooke has done is she has removed herself so he can't gaslight her and force her into accepting his apology quick. She told him she's home because she needed to be home to think clearly. In her head, once a cheater, always a cheater. Personally, I don't think that, she's going to follow through with divorcing him quick, fast, and in a hurry. He seems to want to work on his marriage. We'll see where that goes. But, she starts crying in front of him. In our last and final scene, Jackie is able to get British and Malaysia to meet her for drinks. They're talking, British is saying that, she doesn't want to settle down with anyone. She wants to, she says it's hoeing or just sleep with who she wants to sleep with. Basically, she means she wants to be a grown-ass woman and do what she feels is best for her. Her and Malaysia seem to be on the same page there. Old school Jackie, who hasn't been on the market in quite some time, is like, no, you have to save yourself. You running wild and on the loose. This makes British, snap back like, you're the one who running wild and on the loose. We all think you're bored. I hate when someone has something to say, but they can't stand firmly on it or in it on their own, and they bring people who are not around into the situation. So she basically says everyone thinks you're bored, and we think because you're bored, you're getting into other people's business. Jackie starts getting offended. She reads them for filth. Like, what do you mean bored? I got a man. I got money. Y'all can't deal with me, and my sex life is lit. She lets them know. But, Malaysia is the first one to realize, Jackie, it seems that you're getting really serious about this. I don't have a problem with you being in my business, but sometimes it can be a bit much. Like when you try to force Jen and I to be more than cordial. Jackie's still on fire. She calls Jen. Jen doesn't answer for her. British calls Jen. Jen answers for British. Jen and Malaysia get into it like a silly back and forth on the phone. Malaysia hangs up on her. What we learn in this moment is Malaysia and Jen ain't finna be cool ever. British gonna follow whatever the people she's familiar with are on. Jackie finna turn up because I think she likes to maintain the check. And the season's going to be quite interesting. Jackie ain't finna be the one that everybody loves and adores. She finna be the turn-up queen like she was before the Ponderosa. That's all we got here for this. Bye. Okay, now like, subscribe, And thank you for watching. I appreciate y'all. I enjoy y'all. I'll be back. If you like this, I'll be back with more of it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.